Flushing, New York. Tonight, the New York Mets host the Colorado Rockies. Mets Baseball 98 is brought for the Rockies tonight. Their ace. He signed as a free agent. Darryl Kile, the right-hander, 2-3 on the year, a 6.75 earned run average. And for the Mets, Bobby Jones, 3.12, and he won his first game his last time out. Beautiful baseball night here at Shea. A couple of right-handers, Darryl Kile and Bobby Jones, going at one another. The first of 4 against the Colorado Rockies. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Mets broadcast. Tim McCarver and Keith Hernandez. And no, we don't have Keith here to tell us about the Seinfeld episode on May 14th. Got to be great for the Mets to be home after those 2 games in particular. The game on Monday that they played, the makeup rainout game. As you look at Don Baylor to the right of your screen, Bobby Valentine. Don Baylor saw his Rockies win the Western Division, or actually a wild card winner in 1995. Bobby Valentine has yet to see postseason play. The Mets, the first of 11 games on the homestand: Colorado, Arizona, and St. Louis. Bobby Jones trying to make it 2 in a row. He won last Friday night 3-2. He was last year's pitcher of the month for May. And who came in second? His mound opponent tonight, Darryl Kile. They were both 5-0 last May.
And here's the Rocky lineup for you, brought to you today by Jeep and Eagle. Mike Lansing at second base, the former Expo leading off. Ellis Burks in center field, currently in an 0-for-12 slump. Larry Walker in right. Dante Bichette in left, the red-hot Dante Bichette. Vinny Castillo at third. Todd Helton at first base. Neffy Perez at short. Kurt Manwaring, UX Giant, at catching, and Darryl Kile, their ace, on the mound.
So this game has drawn a couple of aces. Darryl Kile and Bobby Jones. Louis Lopez, highlight that one, folks. Louis Lopez, his first major league start in the outfield. He was telling us before tonight's game that he had played some center field in the minor leagues back in 1992. In center field tonight, Brian McRae, Rich Becker in right, Alfonso Ordonez, Baerga, Olerud, and Spear. And now for the umpires: Jerry Lane behind the plate, Rich Riker at first, Sam Holbrook down at second, and Harry Wendelstedt, the umpire, at third base, and the crew chief. There's Louis Lopez. He has started 7 games this year, 6 at second, 1 at short, and his first in left field with Bernard Gilkey on the disabled list. He was placed on the DL on Monday. Mike Lansing, the second baseman, leads it off, and he pops it foul. Nothing in 1.
Well, I think they got Louis out there today, Timmy, because they want to jumpstart the offense. He's been one red-hot hitter. Every game he's played, he's done the job, and I think he's an ideal number 2 hitter in there. He gives him some speed at the top, something the Mets lack.
Batting .414 in his 7 starts, and with Butch Husky slumping, Lopez given the chance to start, and the slider in there for Mike Lansing. 0-2 to Lansing, and there's Butch Husky. They also serve who only sit and wait.
Well, he's been struggling. I saw the series on TV in Houston. They've been pitching him hard inside. He's been going after the pitch, bad pitch in, and then they're breaking ball him away.
It's a wide plate when you do that. A wide plate for Jones. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lansing. Inside, 2-2. Interesting, those last 2 pitches, the slider off the plate away, the fastball inside. That's the luxury you have when you're ahead in the count.
Absolutely, and Bobby Jones likes to throw inside, much like Rick Reed.
And he gets Lansing. One of the bad things about that 4-game skid is that you lose 2 great pitching performances, one by Rick Reed and then on Tuesday night.
Well, here's the strikeout pitch. The catcher set up inside. He wanted the fastball back in there, but the ball was up and away. And Lansing swung right through it. So they can't put it where they want to all the time.
They sure can't. Everybody thinks that with Ellis Burks coming up, and as Keith said, he's struggling, an 0-for-12, and he pops this one to right center and deep. Becker is back at the track, at the wall, gone. Home run, Ellis Burks. Leave it to Ellis Burks to find the Mets to get out of a slump. That's his 9th career home run against New York pitching, 1-0 Rockies.
Well, it looked like he got under this ball, and it just seems to be carrying out to right center. You know, early in the game, you always got to get a drift on where the ball's carrying. It's a hanging breaking ball over the middle, and I'm wrong. He did not get under the ball that much. He hit it pretty solidly.
And Larry Walker, the batter, and he takes ball 1. 1-0 to Walker. And Ellis Burks with every reason to smile. Home run number 8 on the year for the Rockies center fielder.
Here we see it again from the side. It's a beautiful balanced swing and driving into the ball.
Compact, wasn't it?
Compact swing and driving into the ball, staying in. Almost like he was set up on the outer half of the plate, or in most cases just going up the middle.
2 balls, 1 strike. So instead of looking for a particular pitch, you look in a particular area, it appeared. High, 3-1 to Walker.
That was always the best way I felt to approach hitting. If you're looking in an area, if you're going to look away against a lefty, a righty against a righty, if you're looking away, look fastball, you can adjust to the breaking ball. So you can hit both pitches. Fastball away, breaking ball away. You're set for both.
Full count to Larry Walker. Last year's most valuable player with 49 home runs. Larry Walker led the National League in home runs last year, even though Mark McGwire was with the Cardinals and had 58. How can that happen? Well, obviously, the trade from the Oakland Athletics. Walker with the Rockies all year. Just misses. So Walker with a walk after the home run by Burks. Larry Walker, a 1-out base runner, and here's the leading hitter in the major leagues, Dante Bichette. These guys can throw some lumber at you, Keith.
Well, they have some hitters, that's for sure. And it's interesting, Tim. I'm on AOL. I can go on the net. And I've been reading the last couple days the stories coming out of the Denver Post. And the writers are all over him for not hitting for power. He's hitting 420. What do I got to do?
I mean, honestly.
Geez. So he's got 1 home run for the year. Who cares?
It's an odd Rocky lineup as the fastball from Jones is uncharacteristically high. 1-0 to Bichette. Dante Bichette, who had 130 strikeouts 2 years ago, has 8 this year. 8. Larry Walker has 8 strikeouts. He had 90 a year ago. So both seem to be sacrificing power for contact for different reasons. You heard Larry Walker on the pregame comments. No extension. Dante Bichette similar, but his average is soaring. His home runs are down. Changeup is lifted to left. Louis Lopez, and Ordonez waves him away to one-handed. 2 out.
Now, if I was playing left field for the first time and he waved me off, I would say, I got it because I'm the left fielder. Yes, that backs the shortstop off. I want a fly ball.
You want it to for that first time, right? Yes,
absolutely. Now, the outfielder here, of course, is the general out there, but Ray, I guess he just will let him have it. He's the veteran out there, the veteran shortstop, one with more experience at the position anyway.
It's Louis' first day on the job. He was a full colonel just yesterday, right? Here's Vinny Castilla, who leads the majors in home runs with 11. Grounded to third. Alfonso to second. Hit by Erga covering. The home run by Ellis Burks puts the Rockies on the board. Back after this from Vita Sana. Last year, and what a year to do it on his walk year.
And here's the Mets line today, brought to you by Tri-State Quality Ford Dealers. Rich Becker will lead it off in right. Luis Lopez will be in left, his first start in left. Edgardo Alfonso at third. John Olerud, of course, at first, batting cleanup. Carlos Baerga at second, who hit the ball hard 4 times last night. McRae, Tim Spear, Ray Ordonez at short, and finish up with the pitcher, of course, Bobby Jones.
It is a lineup that has seen the Mets score only 7 runs in their last 4 ball games, 0-1 to Rich Becker, who drove in the only run last night with a 3rd inning triple at the Astrodome. Wicked breaking ball, and Darryl Kile, one of the few guys that throws an overhand sinker and an overhand curveball. Usually you see sinker slider from a guy, not sinker curveball. 1-1 to Becker. 1-2, I beg your pardon. Still 1-2.
Anybody that throws an over-the-top sinker ball, usually it's a hard, nasty, biting sinker, too. I mean, the more you come down 3/4 or sidearm, the more it's going to be flat or lazy. Not so much flat, but a lazy break, whether it breaks flat or breaks down.
Ray Miller, the pitching coach, who was the pitching coach of the Orioles, now the manager. Inside corner gets Rich Becker. So like the Rockies, the leadoff batter strikes out. The defense for Colorado, Dante Bichette in left. Ellis Burks, the center fielder. Larry Walker in right. Vinny Castilla. Nefi Perez at short. Mike Lansing and Todd Helton at first. Kurt Manwaring behind the plate. Larry Walker telling us that the first couple of throws that he makes in a game, that right elbow tape, are okay, but after that, you can run on him. Some information for the Mets. 1 ball, no strikes to Luis Lopez.
Larry should be a little quiet. Don't tell the home team.
Probably deacon the home team into thinking they can run on him. This one laced to second, short hopped by Lansing. 2 outs. You're talking about that overhanded sinker that Kyle throws. Ray Miller, who's now the manager of the Orioles, talks about Scott Erickson, that if his arm is in the 11 o'clock position, then his sinker goes down. If it drops down to the 10 o'clock position, it flattens out and tails.
It will run flat.
Yeah,
right.
It'll run flat. It's a runner and not a sinker.
And it's nice to hit for left-hand hitters,
Absolutely.
as you well know. And I think if he comes down any lower than 11 o'clock, that means it's a sign he's getting tired.
You can see over the top right there, and he blows it by. So that was the pitch to Luis Lopez. He blew the first pitch by Alfonso. And the second pitch high, 1-1 to Edgardo.
I wonder if there's any adjustment Kyle has to make. The light air, the ball doesn't bite as much. And he's got the great curveball. And then he gets on the road and gets into some normal atmospheric conditions. I wonder if he has to make an adjustment.
No adjustment necessary there.
I believe in wins.
Show up at Shea on Saturday, May 9th as the Mets try to shut down Mark McGwire and the St. Louis Cardinals. All fans will take home the new Mets black cap free.
This is a good-looking cap.
Be here for Cap Day. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX.
Show up at Shea for Cap Day, sponsored by Sharp Electronics.
6 years ago, Todd Helton was playing for the University of Tennessee as a quarterback before Peyton Manning took over. Manning just signing with the Indianapolis Colts as the first pick in the nation. 0-1 to Todd Helton. Todd was actually a pitcher in college. He was 8-2 in 1995 as a junior. Fastball is inside. 1-1 to the Rocky first baseman.
Well, usually growing up, kids in Little League, your best athletes were your pitcher. He could pitch and could hit, too. Played both positions.
Todd played first base and pitched in 95. As a matter of fact, he missed the Triple Crown of the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, by 1 home run. He's in the hole here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You have heard about in the kitchen. That was in the pantry.
Cocina in Espanol. Serious
Batting
Cocina.
7, number 5, shortstop Nefi Perez.
Serious Cocina, huh?
Yes, that happens. That's a typical Bobby Jones here, heading the count, throwing in. Rick Reed and him really pitch the same way. He's just, this is fail-safe here. Call back the Bombers.
Mucho Cocina.
Send back the bomber wing.
Here's Nefi Perez, the shortstop.
Now, as a hitter,
sometimes in a bat like that, you got to laugh about it yourself because that's the only thing you can do. You go back to the bench, guys have their hats down over their heads. Some of them saying disdainfully, ball's not carrying the left tonight.
Well, that's cold.
That is
especially
cold.
when you're a young kid and you're struggling.
You know, well, a major league bench is as vicious as anything. I mean, go for the throat.
And that's all part of being a team. Too.
That's right. 1-1 to Nafi Perez.
And he's thinking about it.
Curveball, line to right field. Olerud giving a try. Perez can run, but he stops at first.
Batting eighth, number 8, catcher Kurt Manwaring.
Well, this looks like a little bit of a breaking ball up. He hung it up. He hung a little out in front, but he stayed back and let his hands fly out. Stayed level.
You can be fool with that breaking ball as long as your hands are back. You still have your body.
Your shoulders in. That's all that counts. Your hands are back. You got a chance. And you can always let go with one hand if you have to. Your lead hand, your bottom hand.
See if Don Baylor puts the hit and run on here. Perez a good runner. Manwaring handles the bat well. Got the pitcher on deck. Good time to do it. 1-0 Rockies here in the second inning.
They run some batting averages like that, don't they?
Woo,
Gee.
telling you. Heavy lumber. Inside, ball 1.
Well, they've been kind of splitting duties, the catching duties this year. Manwaring has been splitting the duties with, let me think here, with Jeff Reed, the left-hand hitter. And in the 14 games that Kurt has started, he's hitting .311. So as a manager, you got to be very happy with you have a platoon system like that. And one of your guys is being productive. You got to have a veteran player, I believe, if you're going to platoon.
Yeah. And
a veteran bench.
Difficult to platoon in that catching spot because often with Perez not going and the fastball in the corner, 1-1 to Manwaring. Often the first thing you think about when you think about catching is handling the pitching staff, and very difficult to run a different guy out there. Major league catcher usually catches about 125 to 135 games. That's a full season because of the position, of course.
What was the most games that you caught in the season?
149.
That's playing a lot of games.
69, yep. I was thanked by the Cardinals by being traded at the end of the year after that year.
That's right. I took your spot.
Yeah. Well, that was it. Actually, Manwaring's hit by the pitch. You had to look at Todd Hundley. That was actually the first time when I was traded with Curt Flood, and Flood challenged the reserve clause back in 1969.
Oh, that's right. You were part of that deal.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Dick Allen. It's 1-0 Rockies, and folks, Monday night at 8, set sail with your captain, Robert Urich, for new and exciting adventures aboard the Love Boat, the next wave. Get ready for some smooth sailing every Monday night, starting at 8, only on UPN 9. Renaissance of the Love Boat. Mets trying to bring back a win here. They've lost 4 in a row. They trail here 1-0, and Darryl Kile could be bunting. And it's a good one. Spear wanted to go to third. He looks at first and throws to first. Tim had an idea about going, but Perez with the speed would have beaten the throw. There are 2 outs, but the Rockies with runners on second and third. And the leadoff batter, Mike Lansing, coming up.
Well, the Mets here play it straight, the one play, the no wheel play here. The bunt is supposed to be down the third base line. He had a shot at third at first, but I think he got a little bit off balance as he came up and decided to play the easy out. A little bit off balance, a little bit. He didn't quite have the grip.
I think you're right, and I think the reason for that, he didn't feel that ball on the side. He fielded it kind of facing third base and stumbled a bit. Didn't have the grip. Lansing struck out his first time, and he takes ball 1.
I think then he thought he had a play and went after it aggressively and just didn't have his body collected to make the throw.
One ball, no strikes to Mike Lansing. Hard up the middle. Base hit. 2 runs are going to score. 3-0 Colorado. Ruther
Center fielder Ellis Burks.
Fastball away, wants it away, and it's over the middle, sinks back over the middle. Short stroke. And there's a pitcher helping his cause. All-important bunt. Now it's he got himself a 3-run cushion.
And Bobby not helping himself out by hitting Kurt Manwaring to set up that bunt play. Here's Ellis Burks, who homered his first time up, breaking an 0 for 12 skid, and he takes an inside fastball, strike one. 3-0 Rockies, 1 in the first, 2 in the second.
This is just such a critical time for them right now, the Mets. They got a lot of home games right now. They really have to take advantage of this opportunity.
One thing about New York also, they are not a good come-from-behind club. When their come-from-behind is necessitated by scoring a lot of runs. Of course, not too many teams are. But 3 or 4 runs against the Mets with their lineup and their inability to score is a wide margin. Usually when they come back, it's from 1 or 2 runs in later innings. Bernard Gilkey, right in the middle of your screen, on the DL. No balls, 2 strikes to Ellis Burks.
Coupled with Todd Hundley there, that's just 2 devastating losses. You know, particularly with Bernard getting off to the great start. And he's such a positive influence in the ball club. But those are the breaks.
There's Paul Wilson. Everybody familiar with his story. One of the triumvirate of Wilson, Pulsipher, and Isringhausen. A couple of years ago, everybody depended on those 3. And all 3 broke down almost simultaneously. Pulsipher, the only one who is performing now. He's pitching for Norfolk. And pitching fairly well, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, quite well.
Yep. Burks, great play, Alfonso to get his man. Wow. Edgardo Alfonso, Gold Glove form. But the Rockies scored 2 more. It's 3-0. Bottom of the second coming up after this from Chevrolet. John Olerud leads it off here in the bottom of the second inning, with the Mets trailing 3-0. Home run by Ellis Burks, and then a 2 RBI single by Mike Lansing. And Olerud hits it deep to left center. However, Bichette is there to make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second inning.
Batting 5th, number 8, second baseman Carlos.
That's 4 in a row retired by Darryl Kile. And you may remember the game that Kile pitched in the Astrodome back on September 8th, 1993, when he no-hit the New York Mets. Only 28 players came to the plate in that game. The only base runner, a 4th inning walk to by Jeff McKnight. Carlos Baerga. Outside, ball 1.
I talked to Carlos before the game in the clubhouse today, and he said he felt the best he felt last night in Houston. He felt he hit the ball hard, was staying in on the ball. So hopefully this can carry over, because they certainly need his bat, particularly with Hundley and Gilkey out.
Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. It was about this time in early May last year when Baerga went 4 for 4. It put him over the 200 mark, and he ended up having a respectable season. Not in the power department, but as far as his batting average was concerned, 59 RBIs, a far cry from his days at Cleveland when he was a regular 100 RBI contributor. 2 balls, 1 strike to Baerga. Three balls and 1 strike to Carlos Baerga. This is the problem that Kile has had. He's got a soaring earned run average, 6.75 entering the game. His wildness has been a problem. And he walks Baerga. But it was not a problem back on September 8th, 1993. The 9th no-hitter in Houston Astro history. Nico Walker making the final out on that wicked curveball from Kile. So a no-hitter in 1993 against the Mets. He's 7-2 lifetime. And remember, he was 19-7 last year. Here's Brian McRae. This one hit fairly deep to right field. Walker, however, 2 outs.
It's interesting how this inning, Tim, he threw a lot of breaking balls, predominant breaking balls in the first inning, and in the second inning here through the heart of the lineup, he is throwing predominantly fastballs.
Got Olerud on a fastball up and away. He walks by Aragon 5 fastballs, and then on the first pitch, McRae flies to right field. That's kind of what you think about as a catcher. You try to never live by a pattern, so the hitters that think a little bit at the plate, some guys it doesn't matter. Some guys just don't go up there with an idea.
Right.
But with most good major league hitters, you try never to get into a pattern, a predictable pattern, as Tim Spear takes a wicked breaking ball, strike 1.
I always found that one of the biggest patterns that catchers had was the third time through the lineup. So that your third at bat, they would change how they pitched you the first 2.
That's the constant cat and mouse game that hitters and catchers play. Everybody talks about how a hitter hits off a pitcher. Usually it's off the catcher. 1-1 to Tim Spear.
It's just so important as a player to be watching on the bench and watching how the pitcher works. All the hitters, if you're a left-hand hitter, you watch every left-hand hitter in your lineup. If you're a right-hand hitter, the same thing. Try to get a pattern.
Nice play by Manwaring. 2 balls and 1 strike to Tim Spear.
Rusty Staub was great at that.
He really was.
Right in the corner of that bench. Right in the corner of the bench. I remember that big orange body down there sitting down the steps. He would watch everything.
He really had an idea, didn't he?
He sure did. Trying to pick up anything.
Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 3-0 Colorado. Waves at the fastball, 2-2 to Spear.
Kyle's got a good fastball too. He throws hard. Get the hard breaking ball to go with the hard sinker.
Ray Ordonez on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the second inning.
Of course, Tim had the great spring training and all the home runs, like 4 home runs, and you're trying to make a ball club, and it's almost like you waste those hits down there. How many guys you see have great springs and come up and start off April slow?
I remember you talking about it, one of the games we did down there, about leaving it in the rehearsal hall.
Exactly.
Another curveball, 2nd strikeout for Kile. Mets trail 3-0 after 2.
Back here, and there's Darryl Kile here, and we're going to show you the sequence of pitches here to Tim Spear. He leads him off with a nasty curve. 0-1. Fastball misses down low. Another curveball out of the strike zone. 2-1. Comes with a fastball, and there's the pitch you want to hit, and he throws it by him. And then comes back with a nasty breaking ball.
I don't think too many guys would have had a chance on that last hook that he threw.
So the pitch for Tim to hit was the 2-1 fastball. He got ahead of the count. He got ahead of the count with him missing the curveball. So 2-1, you're sitting fastball, and that's the pitch you want to hit. And he didn't. He got beat by it.
Larry Walker fouled it away. Larry walked his first time up, true to his name. 3-0 Rockies here in the top of the 3rd inning. The first of 4 against Colorado. Slider down and in, 1-1 to Walker.
And that's a tough slider to lay off right there. That was a good bait, what you call a bait slider. Starts in the strike zone and breaks in for a ball late.
Right side, Olerud to Jones. 1 out here in the 3rd inning. 4 games against the Rockies this weekend, and then Arizona comes in. First time an expansion team has played for the first time in Shea since back in 1993 when the Colorado Rockies opened the season here at Shea Stadium. And then St. Louis and Mark McGuire come in for 4 games on the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10 before the Mets hit the road a week in San Diego and San Francisco, and then they head back to Shea. 0-1 to Dante Bichette. He popped to short his first at bat.
It's funny how Dante just kind of bounced around with California, then to Milwaukee, and in comes the Colorado with a beautiful hitting, light air up there, nice stadium, and just turned his career around.
He hit in Mile High Stadium, and he hit balls miles there. Don Baylor saw his Rockies play there for 2 years, and then they moved to Coors Field, their present home. 1-1 to Bichette. Jammed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The Rocky hitters, especially Dante, get a little bit itchy and a little nervous about it, and them saying all the numbers on it's the light air. They get very upset about that.
That's true.
Dante this year is hitting on the road .472 on the road with 53 at bats. So he's doing it in both places.
He waves at that slider. That's strikeout number 2 for Bobby Jones. 2 outs here in the 3rd, and Vinny Castilla coming up. And tonight's game is brought to you by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. With Keith Hernandez, Tim McCarver at Shea on a beautiful night. The first of 11 games that the Mets will play here at Shea. Castilla grounded to 3rd his first time up. Outside, ball 1.
10 of his 11 home runs have come off of right-hand pitchers so far this year, so I guess he likes to hit off the righties.
That's usually who the Rockies will face. You have Lansing, Bichette, Castilla.
There you see there.
In past years, you had Andres Galarraga, but he's with Atlanta now, as is Walt Weiss, and there's an idea of the damage Castilla can do.
Like ditto, two identical seasons. I wonder how many times that's happened.
For that many numbers, www.castilla. Lifted to right. And the Rockies go down 1-2-3.
Believe in Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Show up at Shea on Sunday, May 10th for Mother's Day. All women will get a great-looking tote bag, compliments of Klein Industries. Be here when the Mets try to shut down Mark McGwire and the St. Louis Cardinals. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX. That's 718-507-TIXX.
Hey, Mom. Show up at Shea.
That looks like that guy in the second row, right in the middle of your picture, could do that milk commercial. Look at that. He's doing the milk commercial.
You're right.
Great shot. I doubt that that's milk, however.
It was the lighting.
Probably suds from another beverage, perhaps. Ray Ordonez takes a breaking ball. That is low, ball 1. Boy, has that thing been hot and successful? You see that everywhere, that milk commercial.
Yes.
Celebrities. Of course, they wouldn't ask you to do that because it'd get on your mustache, right?
I think it would work perfect. What a contrast, the white and the black mustache.
Not bad.
There's a little gray in there. But
It would be an excuse to cover up some of that gray. Right? 1-1 to Ray Ordonez. Hammered foul. 1-2.
there didn't used to be any gray in there.
I understand. Believe me. You'll be going for the hair color in no time flat, right?
You think
That's
so?
what I do.
Yeah?
Hey, you got to do it, baby.
Really?
That's it's not a disgrace anymore. Men are coming out of the closet. They're talking about now that guy needs some hair coloring. Tap toward 3rd and foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ray Ordonez. At least we have hair to color.
That's true. I will have my hair to the day I die, I think. My brother's going bald.
Right, is he?
Yeah.
Gary?
Yeah, he got premature gray, too. In his 30s.
There's Butch Husky. Well, you can't tell whether Butch is going to be after hair color or not because he doesn't have any hair. But Butch, I mean, if he's not bald-headed. I mean, Ordonez goes after the breaking ball in the dirt. Keith, we were talking about it between innings. And, you know, with the lineup that the Mets have, and this is just a weird thought. I was thinking in the first inning, if Darryl Kile has overpowering stuff tonight, I mean, he could no-hit this lineup. The way they're swinging the bats and with the stuff he has.
Well, and also, too, I think the fact that I think they're pressing a bit, too. When you're pressing, you start swinging at bad pitches.
That's right.
You got a power pitcher out there. They can throw you that hard curveball in the dirt. And a hitter that's pressing is going to fish after that hard breaking ball in the dirt.
Feel like if the Mets do get a hit in this game, it would be a nubber somewhere or a flare somewhere or a broken bat hit. As Kile has been dominating through the first 7 outs. 1-1 to Bobby Jones.
He seems to be throwing hard. I know why his ERA is up in the 6s, in the high 6s. He's finding out a pitching. Well, I'm sure he knows. I mean, I just was baffled me why he'd want to pitch in Denver.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Interesting point, particularly for a guy with a good curveball like Kyle has.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember playing in Denver in AAA when I was 19 years old. I was hitting home runs way up in the old Mile High Stadium.
Same
I was 175 pounds.
Look at these guns, right? 2-2 to Jones.
He looks sharp tonight, that's for sure. Whatever pitching woes he's had, and you said earlier, it's falling behind the count.
I mean, that ball sailed, darted. 4 strikeouts for Darryl Kile.
Like a little cutter he threw there.
Yeah, it did.
Right fielder.
Look at him shaking the head, Mr. Funk. Hello. Did I teach him that down the bullpen?
That ball just exploded out of Kyle's hand.
Here, you'll see it again here. I mean, this will get a good hitter out. Look at the ball run. The last minute just run out.
It did look like a cutter, didn't it?
Yeah, and the catcher, I think it ran naturally because the catcher was set up inside.
Yep. 1 ball, no strikes to Rich Becker. He struck out in the first inning. It's 3-0 Colorado here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. First of a 4-game series. Way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Darryl Kile features that sinking fastball that appears to be more of a 4-seamer tonight because he's thrown a lot of high ones. Got a good curveball and an occasional split finger fastball. But for the most part, he's a 2-pitch pitcher. Outside, that ball's running all over the place. 3-0.
See the catcher field. That one is like box it and send me a dozen. He's having trouble catching it.
Tell you, that's a fearful feeling. Even though you know what's coming, you have no idea what the ball's going to do, and neither does Kyle.
Here's the pitch again. Watch the catcher. He had a hard time catching a fastball here. It's in the dirt. That's there. I'm sorry, it was the first pitch. There. I mean, that is just some nasty sink. The catcher knows the sinker's coming, and to catch it like that, that's just got some tremendous movement.
3 balls, 1 strike to Rich Becker. Tap towards second. Lansing again. Throws out Becker. Kyle moves right along. 3-0 Colorado. We go to the 4th after this from Infinity.
Frank, I'm thinking about moving to another swamp.
No, really?
I'm just not comfortable living in a swamp where assassination attempts are taking place. Every loon with a vendetta, every snake with a sinus headache frightens me.
Hey, snap out of it, Louis. Everybody knows it was you.
Oh, Frank, I had no motive. I love Budweiser, and I love the frogs.
Oh, yeah, you're good buddies. I forgot.
Excuse me, if you would remember last summer, I invited them to that barbecue.
Yeah, well, Louis, you wanted to cook them at that barbecue.
But at least I invited them.
Oh.
You wouldn't have invited them at all.
Bill comes out. 10 days later, it's almost doubled in price.
I wonder why.
A very popular thing. Todd Helton leads it off here in the 4th inning.
I had nothing to do with that price hike.
No, you did not. No, I understand that. One ball, no strikes to Todd Helton. Change is outside, 2-0 to Todd. He was jammed and popped out to short his first time up.
So it's important for Todd as a hitter now not to let the inside pitch worry him. He got jammed so badly the first at bat. If a pitcher jams you like that, if you start worrying inside, then you give up the whole plate, the whole outer half of the plate.
Yeah, then you open up too soon, and that outside part of the plate is You're dead on it.
Your attitude's more or less got to be, okay, you jammed me once, how dare you to do it again.
All good hitters get jammed occasionally.
Hey, absolutely.
Hits this one well, left field. Back is Lopez. He can't get to it. It short hops the left field fence. And Todd Helton has an opposite field double. Take a look at our Nobody Beats the Wiz scoreboard. Those red-hot Padres. Boy, they are just playing super baseball out of the chute. Padres 18-7. Best percentage in the National League. No score Giants and Braves in the third. Cardinals and Cubs delayed momentarily by rain. The Devil Rays, the Toyota American League scoreboard. Nefi Perez tries to bunt. Bunts it foul. The Angels over the Red Sox. Red Sox with identical records as the San Diego Padres. And the Yankees 2-1 over the Mariners across town after winning last night 8-5. Going to say the Tampa Bay Devil Rays recorded their first complete game shutout today. Orlando Arroyo was the winner. And the team, foreign expansion team, off to a great start. The best first month any expansion team has ever had. 0-1 to Perez.
Everybody thought that Arizona would be the team that would get
I
out
did.
hot.
I did.
And they're really struggling.
Arizona with a 7-20 record, and it's 1-1 to Perez.
Important for Perez here in this situation in the 7-hole. At least pull the ball, get the runner to third base.
Pops it up, shallow center. The runner will not advance. 1 out.
Those are the little things that the guys in the bottom half of the order have to do. I think the 7-hole is one of the most underrated spots in the lineup. I just think it's a critical spot in the lineup. You're protecting your 6-hitter. You got an 8-hitter hitting behind you. Ray Knight was such a great 7-hitter in our lineup in the 80s.
1986 in particular.
RBI guy, line drive hitter. Have the patience not to swing at bad pitches because a weak 8-hitter's hitting behind you. That can really be an RBI spot because you've got 5 and 6 in front.
Kurt Manwaring, the batter, with Helton on at second base. And 1 out, and Manwaring takes strike 1. 3-0 Rockies here in the fourth. Nothing and 2 now to Manwaring. Mets are playing with a 24-man roster this evening, and they're playing happily with the 24-man roster. And the reason I say that is Turk Wendell, who will join the team sometime this weekend, is with his wife Barbara. They both gave birth, or not both of them, but both of them had something to do with it, to their first child, a daughter, Dakota, who weighed in at 7 pounds, 5 ounces at Swedish Hospital in Denver, Colorado. Our congratulations to the Wendells. As Manwaring taps to Jones, Bobby couldn't find the handle. Not that there's one on a baseball, but he finally made the play as Helton moves to third, 2 outs.
Pitcher Darryl Kile.
Actually, he shows good reaction here. He covers the ground to his left. Kind of a tough hop here. The angle's not great right there, but he did kind of fumble it and recovered nicely. Been a tough play if the ball got by him.
Manwaring probably would have had an infield hit. Here's Darryl Kile with 2 outs. Kyle with a 3-0 lead as the Mets are hitless through 3. Fastball on the corner, strike 1. Also giving birth this afternoon, Helen Rambasis and her husband Tony. Helen is the assistant promotions director for New York and just a delightful lady. Giving birth also to their first child. Kimberly and Helen are doing well. And our congratulations to Turk and Barbara Wendell and Helen and Tony Rambasis. Proud parents this afternoon, and it's 0-2 to Darryl Kile. Speaking of parenthood, Bobby Jones saying that his son changed his life. First son was born last September, matured him a great deal. It does help you grow up in a hurry, doesn't it? Outside, ball one.
Give you a different perspective on life. And usually athletes are very single-minded and focused. And I remember in the minor leagues seeing the guys that were married in the minor leagues with kids, and those families following them around at different parts of the country. And gosh, if you got traded or you got called up or sent down, boy, it was a burden on the wife.
Breaking ball, tapped foul. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. I broke in 1959 in Keokuk, Iowa, Class D ball. That's D as in David. In those days, you had 6 classifications of minor league ball, D through AAA. And Warren Roddenberry was our bus driver. His wife was pregnant with their 3rd child. He was a long reliever, a spot starter. And they gave him $50 a month extra to drive the bus. Outside and low, 2-2. But I mean, you know, you never hear about those stories until they do movies like Bull Durham or things like that. It can be a wretched existence in the minor leagues. Hit hard to right field. Rich Becker back, having played him, Kile, perfectly, and he makes the play. 3-0. Rockies after 3.5. That was where Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan saw one another on the top of the Empire State Building.
That's right. Was that movie again now? Do you remember?
Hopeless in Seattle. Talkless. Helpless. Helpless. Might have been hopeless. Not hopeless for that Met fan, however. And the Mets are hoping this game isn't hopeless. They trail 3-0.
The rally hat.
Yeah. No hits off Darryl Kile. 3-0 Rockies here in the 4th, and the pass ball inside corner, strike 1.
He's the only guy that's hit the ball hard off of Kile so far today. He was a bullet at the short hop at the second baseman.
Mike Lansing short hopping the ball his last at bat. This one slicing toward left. The shed over, however, to backhand it. The only base runner in this game, Carlos Baerga, in the 2nd inning, drew a walk.
Well, Louis obviously likes starting here. The last 2 seasons, he has 43 starts for the Mets, 307 batting average with 15 doubles and 17 RBIs. Before tonight's game, of course, all of his starts were in the infield. And he's got a start in left field tonight. They're trying to jumpstart the offense, get another bat in the lineup. He's been hot.
Edgardo Alfonso takes a breaking ball outside. The one alarming thing about the Mets and non-alarming thing about Lopez is the types of outs that he makes. Fouled away, 1-1. Louis Lopez, you take tonight. He short hopped the second baseman. He hit a slicing fly ball, semi-line drive down the left field line. I mean, if you have 3 good at-bats a night and 4 times up and you hit the ball hard, those hits are going to come. The alarming thing about the Mets is that with a lot of their hitters, they do not hit the ball hard 3 times a night.
Well, there's so many things that are involved in the equation. I mean, when you got a team that's struggling to score runs, like I said earlier, they press, they try to do too much.
Yep.
I've been on teams like that before where you go through periods, never with the Mets here, we have such great hitting and power, but in St. Louis where, you know, geez, the pitchers were throwing great, and when the pitchers are doing their job, you feel so badly because you're not doing your end of the job.
3-1 to Alfonso. Pops it up to right field. Larry Walker there. There are 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Darryl Kile, this inning is predominantly throwing fastballs again.
Yeah. I think he's thrown 1 breaking ball this inning.
Pitching very aggressively inside, too.
John Olerud flied to left field his first time up.
I'm always surprised that John likes to swing at the first pitch a lot, and someone as patient as he is has such a great eye. I mean, it's all, you know, I would never swing at the first pitch. Very seldom. Once in a while, I would I would sneak up on someone and swing at the first pitch at the first game, first at bat. But John, as little as I've been here, John loves to swing at that first pitch in the first at bat. It's a fastball. I always kind of wanted to gauge the pitch. I was willing to give a strike to see how hard a pitcher was throwing.
You were also willing to get ahead in the count so you could guess. And I know that's the way you hit.
Yep. Well, it's so important to be ahead in the count, or
absolutely
first ball fastball hitter. That's the best at bat. Get out of the box. Pitcher has no shot of doing anything to you. First ball fastball, jump on it. If it's in your area, attack it. Especially with a guy like Kyle with a great curveball.
3-1 now to Olerud. That's the one bad thing about being a first ball hitter, however, is that a lot of times that pitch is unpredictable. And part of hitting is getting a guy into a predictable situation. Olerud did, but he grounds towards second for the third out. Darryl Kile has a no-hitter through 4. Mike Lansing, who drove in 2 runs with a single up the middle with 2 outs his last time up. Inside corner, strike 1 from Bobby Jones. Outside with a slider, 1-1 to Lansing.
He's been nursing kind of a sore left foot. He has only attempted 2 stolen bases this year, and he's a guy that steals 20 bases. He's done it 3 times in his career.
Had 33 last year. Chopped towards second, and you can see him kind of timidly running toward first base. 1 out here in the 5th inning. And let's take a look at our new Dodge quiz for the evening. Outfield with 3 Hall of Famers. Started regularly with Philadelphia Phillies during the 1890s.
I have no shot. Wow.
1890s. Ed Delahanty might have been one of them. Fastball is low to Ellis Burks. He homered to get the Rockies on the board in the first inning. Ellis 1 for 2 on the night. A fine play by Alfonso robbed him of his second hit, or potential hit. Good change, 1-1 to Ellis. I think Ed Delahanty died on a mysterious, either being thrown off a train or falling off a train and falling into Niagara Falls. That's how Ed Delahanty died. He is, I believe, a Hall of Famer, and I believe he's one of those 3 outfielders that played in the 1890s.
I'm impressed.
Well, I just know that story. I played in Philadelphia for a while. You hear all these goofy stories about the. You never heard that story about Ed Delahanty off the train? They never solved it. Never solved the mystery. I think it happened back in the early teens, like 1913, 1914.
It's almost like Bullwinkle Moose. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
I love Bullwinkle. Hit the right field again. 2 outs. Mr. Peabody and the Wayback Machine. I love it. And his boy Sherman. The dog had a boy.
Fractured Fairy Tales.
Fractured Fairy Tales, correct.
Okay, enough of this.
Let's take a look at the new Dodge fractured answer to our new Dodge quiz. As Larry Walker is up there. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and the breaking ball high, ball 1. Well, we're giving you a little more time to think about the answer of the 3 Hall of Fame outfielders that played for the Philadelphia Phillies in the late 1890s. That's a Hall of Fame outfield. They had to play together at one time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was before Chuck Klein, Del Ennis, guys like that. Richie Ashburn, of course, a Hall of Famer. We lost Richie last year. What a terrific human being he was.
Sure was.
Slider inside, 2 balls and a strike to Larry Walker.
That's a tough pitch to lay off again, too. Showed a good eye up there. A down and in slider. That was the one pitch that gave me trouble.
Inside, ball 3, 3-1 now to Walker.
Seems like Bobby Jones has settled down after the first 2 innings. 3rd, 4th, and 5th so far now. He seems to have gotten in control of the game here, control of this lineup.
Only 1 hit by the Rockies since then. That was a double to left field by Todd Helton. Nobody else has reached base. Full count now to Walker.
This looks like it's hurting him a little bit there. You can see his grimace. I don't know whether it's because he should have hit that pitch or if he's hurting. I think it's because he's hurting.
Yeah, he was telling us before the game in that interview that when he fouls the ball off, it does hurt, and you can see him favor that right arm there. He had that arm operated on in January. The Mets will try to operate on Darryl Kile right after this from Samsonite.
They cut on him. They operated on him, Tim, on January 13th, and you wonder why they'd wait. Why wouldn't they do it immediately after the season? You can tell he's in pain. Why not cut on it in October when the season's over?
I do not know the answer to that. It's 1-0 to Baerga. It's 1 in the Mets dugout, and it's 1-1 to Carlos. But he is clearly in pain after that foul ball off the other way, and then he swung through a ball. He told us that was going to be his reaction, and that's obviously why he has not taken batting practice before any game this year. Tapped foul, a ball and 2 strikes to Baerga.
It does look like this is the best I've seen Carlos swing the bat. I've always felt that Carlos is, when he's his front foot left-handed, when he strides, he points it towards the third base, towards down the third base line, and doesn't swing it towards the pitcher as he swings, thus locking his hips. You can't rotate, you're locked. And he seems to be a lot freer.
Ground ball, a fine play by Todd Helton. Flips it to Kile. 1 out here in the 5th, and the outfield of the 3 Hall of Famers that started regularly for the Phillies during the 1890s. We attempted one. Have no clue about the other 2. Ed Delahanty, all right. Billy Hamilton and Sam Thompson.
Okay.
Billy Hamilton, Sam, I'm lost.
They only played together 4 years. Why would you bring up a Hall of Fame outfield?
Probably money. Probably asked for $2,500 a year instead of their normal $2,200. 1-0 to Brian McRae. The Mets still hitless through 4 1/3. 2-0.
Well,
Make that 1-1. I beg your pardon.
He's throwing hard. He's coming up and in with that fastball, left-hand hitters.
Wicked curveball again, a ball and 2 strikes.
Backdoor curveball in the outside corner after an up and in fastball. I mean, most hitters have to take that pitch.
Breaking ball, jammed to second base, and Lansing throws out McRae. That'll bring up Tim Spear, who struck out his first time up. You know what you do, I think, with a guy like Kyle, whose ball's moving all over the place. If you're a catcher, tell him to forget about throwing to the glove and throw to the 4 corners, the 2 shoulders and the 2 shin guards. That gives him a bigger target. Throw the ball down the middle of the plate. The ball's running all over the place.
Well, that's what Gary Carter did with Sid Fernandez.
Yeah, is that right? Is that right?
He just set up right down the middle because he just didn't know if it was going to run left or run right. And Sid didn't know.
Yeah.
So just throw it down the middle and let it run.
Yeah. Let the movement take care of the hitter. It looks like that's what Manwaring is doing.
And that's why I think Sid sometimes always got beat with a long ball, and it was the ball that didn't move. So it stayed flat and right down the middle.
Tapped foul, 2-1 to Spear. I have never seen major league hitters as befuddled the first times through the lineup, knowing a fastball is coming, fouling it off the other way, and fastball counts, as I did against Sid Fernandez when he was throwing hard.
And then with the slow cook, you're right. He had great stuff. And the thing about Sid, you know, I don't think that Sid had much of an idea. It was just the of how to pitch.
Yeah, right.
He just had great stuff, very gifted, and you know, it was one guy I think that Gary Carter made better. And this is not a criticism of Sid, but I think Carter made Sid a better pitcher. Carter called a great game. I always felt.
I felt Gary learned that. I felt when he was younger that Gary Carter and Johnny Bench were too predictable as catchers. They called a lot of fastballs behind in the count. You could gauge what they were throwing. Of course, you hit against both of them early in their careers. Carter and you came up about the same time.
Carter was like a little ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think. No, I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think Gary came up in like 74. He was about. He came up with the Expos about when you came. Bench, of course, came up at 67. But he and Gary, I felt, were both predictable and easy to guess with. It's 1 ball, no strikes now to Ray Ordonez.
I always felt that Carter, with that staff they had, and they had great staff, was always behind the count breaking ball, ahead in the count fastball in, and where Johnny Bench, if anybody was on base like a steal, would put down number 1.
Fastball, right.
And you can sit on a fastball on Johnny. And I had Lou Brock and Gary Templeton in front of me, so that was very nice for me.
Made hitting a little easier. 2 balls and no strikes to Ray Ordonez. Three 3-0 Rockies. We're in the 5th. Tim Spear on at first base. You have to wonder why Helton's holding him on. With Ordonez batting. And he takes a strike, 2-1.
Well, here's Ray Stantz, and that's fine how you do that. It doesn't matter as long as you're on your toes. It's better to be on your toes than on your heels. You can't be on your heels when you hit.
Outside corner, 2-2 now to Ordonez.
My approach to a pitcher like Kile, if he's got the great curveball working, I don't want to hit that pitch. I'm looking for a fastball anywhere on the plate for a strike, and if I get a fastball, I am not going to let it pass. I want to hit the fastball. I don't want to hit his nasty curveball unless he hangs it up there.
Breaking ball, a delayed steal by Spear, and he makes it. Tim Spear with the delayed steal, and he's at second base, and the count is full on Ray Ordonez.
And you'll see here that on the replay that Kile drops sidearm Laredo here. This is the first time. Try to throw a slider sidearm. Why do you want to do that? I don't know. The throw is not on time. Trying to steal a run here.
Your point's really well taken with that. Why drop down on a 2-2 count to an 8th place hitter like Ray Ordonez when you have the stuff like Kile has tonight?
Absolutely. And he's got his curveball working. He's got both pitches working.
Strike 3 call. Ordonez looking for something other than a fastball. The Mets are hitless through 5. It's 3-0.
Your neighborhood McDonald's, or call the fan club hotline at 201-784-9600. That's 201-784-9600.
His teammates on the bench won't tell him, but we'll tell you that Darryl Kile has a no-hitter through 5. Dante Bichette is the batter. I've always thought that was the most foolish thing. And announcers even don't mention it. As Bichette hammers it to center. Back is McRae, and he can't get to it. Bichette with a booming double to center field to lead off the 6th inning. I guess that's the reason I've never broadcast a no-hitter, because I keep bringing it up in the middle innings.
Ever been involved in a game as a player? No-hitter?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. No-hit by Bert Hooton back in 1972. Second game of the season after we went on strike for 9 days to open the season. No-hitted by Bill Singer with the Dodgers in 1972, I think, the same year. Could have been 71. Vinny Castilla, the batter. He's 0 for 2 on the night.
I would not want him going the other way here. He's your power hitter.
Yeah.
Gets you the ball and hit it where you want.
He's the man. 11 home runs on the year. By the way, we mentioned earlier that Castilla leads the majors in homers. No longer. Ken Griffey Jr. has 2 at Yankee Stadium tonight. And that gives him 11 for the year. The Yankees and Seattle Mariners tied at 3 across town. 0-1 to Vinny Castilla. Line drive, right field, base hit. Bichette had to stop halfway. And Becker, ball dropping in front of him. Castilla not going that way intentionally, just took what Bobby Jones gave him there, it appeared. So first and third and nobody out. Todd Helton coming up. And weeknights at 10. Folks, join the Emmy Award-winning news team at 10. Ernie, Brenda, Storm, Russ, and Monica. An experienced news team you can count on any night of the week. UPN 9 News, weeknights at 10.
It'll be curious to see how the Mets play it here in the infield. They're down 3 runs. Their team's struggling to score runs, and they're playing back right now. I've seen them with the pitch come in, but they're going to stay back for double play depth here.
Well, it's a very difficult managerial decision right now, because if you do play the infield in, the chances for a big inning increase greatly.
Absolutely.
But you hate to concede a run to make it 4-0 with a team that's having a tough time not only scoring, but tonight getting a hit. Hitless through 5.
I actually thought that Dante Bichette did not have a good read in that ball to right field. I thought it was clearly a base hit all the way, and he got caught in the middle playing at safety first. You're up 3-0. You should be able to read that. He should have scored in that ball.
That's when you take your chances. First thing you do is check the outfielders. Absolutely. On any base. 0-1 to Todd Helton. First and third, and nobody out for the Rockies. Oh, 1-1. Rockies have 6 hits. The Mets have none.
Coming inside here, Tim.
Jamming Helton. And he fouls it back. You may remember the first time up tonight, Helton was jammed, popped weakly to shortstop. And then the second time up, he got a fastball out over the plate and drilled it over the head of Luis Lopez and left.
Actually, it was a good sinking fastball. Hit the outside corner. He went with well. So I think that's a heads-up sign for Bobby. He needs an out here, pop up, strike out. He's going to go in after him. He's ahead in the count now. Do pretty much what he wants to do.
Tim Spears shaking his head no, and usually when a catcher does that, he wants the pitcher to shake his head, and they often come back with the same pitch.
That's exactly what they're doing, and he shook him off twice, so he wants to throw the breaking ball here.
Throw to third, Bichette back. That was very close. You don't see that play very often. The Mets worked on that in spring training.
That's a good play. Dante, obviously, in that situation, cannot get picked off. Let's see what he got here. Curveball, he shakes, fastball in.
Fastball in, here it comes. And he jams him again, but he fights it off. Still 1-2 to Todd Helton.
He's beating him inside. And he's still 1-2 and can do anything he wants with him. So he's backed up 2 pitches inside in a row, up and in fastballs. Up to this inning, Bob had retired 10 of the last 11. It's settled down. Now he's going to go with the breaking ball. And away. He wants it away.
Curveball jammed again. Bichette on at third base. Vinny Castilla, the runner at first. There are no outs here in the sixth. It's 3-0 Rockies. The count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Todd Helton. See that in our UPN 9 sports box to the right of your screen. Back inside.
And a good call.
Just missing. 2-2. Don Hudak up and warming in the Mets bullpen. Remember, the Mets without the services of Turk Wendell tonight. He is with his wife Barbara in Swedish Hospital in Denver, Colorado. Probably watching the feed of the Denver or the Colorado Rockies. Breaking ball high, 3-2. Send the runner here.
3-0. You can send him. I don't think Castillo's that great a runner. I would hold him here. You've got a struggling young hitter here.
I would too, and the reason is a double play scores a run.
Exactly. It depends on your hitter. If you've got a red-hot hitter and a veteran hitter, then you can send him. This is a young kid up here that might swing at a bad pitch.
Strike him out, throw him out. You could end up with a guy on at third base and 2 outs. On a double play, you score the run anyway. However, Castillo looked like he was running. Bobby Jones, meanwhile, wants to talk to Tim Spear. Things have slowed down considerably here. See what Don Baylor wants to do. He's telling Gene Glenn, the third base coach, probably to hold the runner. So we'll see. First and third, nobody out. Full count to Helton.
Going to go inside with a fastball again.
Castilla not running. He's popped up. Foul. Still 3-2. Interesting at bat, huh?
It is. It's a battle, and the advantage has switched, actually. It was a 1-2 count, and now it's full. With the 2-2 curveball that Bobby missed, he hung it up out of the strike zone, looking to get on the outside corner. That makes the full count now kind of the old equalizer. I think advantage hitter now.
You know, I think if I were making the decision, I'd have the infielders halfway here. The runner runs, you're still in a position for a strike him out, throw him out. On a ball not hit hard to the shortstop or second baseman, you still got a shot at Bichette at third base. There goes the runner, and this one fouled off.
That was ball 4 right there. And I agree with you, Tim. That's a good call, because then if a ball's hit sharply and Bichette goes home, you got a shot to throw him out.
You've got a guy in a defensive situation right here in Todd Helton. He's taking defensive swings. I don't think you're giving up that much by moving the infielders in 4 feet. Castilla, interestingly, running on that play. No one covered at second base. 3-2 to Helton.
This is a critical at bat in the game, and it's been a great at bat, a great duel between the two of them. Change-up. 9
pitches in this at bat. There's the change. It misses up and away. So a walk to Todd Helton. A great at bat by Helton.
Shortstop, Nefi Perez.
And with the bases loaded and nobody out, that'll bring up Nefi Perez. And Bob Apodaca wants to talk to Jones, we think. I don't think they take Bobby Jones out of this situation. He's your ace. Got to be allowed to pitch himself out of this.
Absolutely. And I think they'll play the corners in here.
Yep.
And maybe want to go halfway with their infield.
I would. I don't think the Mets can afford to fall further behind. And by playing the infield back, you're limiting your middle infielders to go for 2 instead of coming to the plate.
You've got the 7 and 8 hitters up now.
Yep.
Not the big bombers that are up there. And they are going to be in at the corners. We'll see if they with the pitch bring in the shortstop at second baseman. You definitely want your pitcher to go from the stretch here, that's for sure.
Perez, meanwhile, has singled and scored a run. He scored on a 2-out single by Mike Lansing in the second inning. He takes strike one. 0-1 to Nefi Perez. Strike two. 0-2 now to Perez as he's in the hole.
I like the way they got John Olerud situated at first base. He's kind of a little bit in not so much no man's land. He comes in with the pitch. He's like halfway. You can make the play at the plate on a slow roller, and you're not giving up so much ground on a left-hand hitter.
Perez is jammed. How about Luis Lopez in left field? You got to love that. Luis, his first start ever in left field, and look how shallow he's playing Perez.
And rightly so.
Absolutely.
Guy that goes the other way.
Yep.
No power. You see here as we swing around, you see where John's playing. He'll come in a little bit with the pitch. That enables you on a hard hit ball. You can go home, still have the option to get the double play at second. If it's hit hard, go home to first. If it's a slow roller, you can go home and get the force out the plate.
Low, ball one. 1-2 to Perez.
Because they're not going to squeeze ever with no outs. The squeeze only comes into play with 1 out.
One and two to Nefi Perez. Bases loaded and nobody out here in the 6th inning. The pesky Perez following the pesky Helton.
Well, they're making them work. They're fouling pitches off.
They
That's
are.
for sure.
Birdman Waring on deck. To right center field, over is Becker. It's going to score at least one. All runners are tagging properly. Becker goes to second. 4-0 Rockies as Castilla goes to third and Bichette scores.
Catcher, third, Waring.
Well, they're making them work for his outs here. They're trying to come back inside with the fastball. Little cutter, didn't get it quite in there, and just a good at bat for Nefi. There's Rich Becker making the play, the easy tag up.
Now's when you may see the squeeze.
That's a good chance. It's also a good time to do it because the first baseman has to hold the runner on at first. And if you're going to squeeze in this situation, you make the first baseman field the bunt here. He's the one that's got the long way to come.
Bobby Jones working that fake to third, throw to first about 5 times in this inning.
And I guess the Mets don't figure there's going to be a squeeze here because Edgardo Alfonso is playing real deep at third base.
Tap towards short, could be 2. Ordonez, Baerga back to first for the double play. So all things considered, Jones gets out of it with relatively little damage. However, 4-0 Rockies. Back after this from Toyota. And Craig Paquette, who was 1 for 4 on the year, called up when Bernard Gilkey was put on the disabled list, will be the pinch hitter for Bobby Jones. Bobby Valentine has to go to his bench. I mean, looks like that's what Bobby's explaining.
Well, you're in the 6th inning. You're late in the game, and you're down 4 runs. You've got a team struggling to score runs. Even with a hot team, that you got to pinch hit.
Glenn Hurdle telling Vinny Castilla that Paquette will bunt, and from what we saw of him this spring, he will. He's a pretty good runner. Tough for Bobby Valentine to send him down after having a very, very good spring. 1-1 to Paquette. Breaking ball, couldn't hold up. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Craig. Greg formerly with the Kansas City Royals, had 22 home runs a couple of years ago. And he goes after another nasty curve. 6 strikeouts now.
Right fielder Rich Becker.
For Darryl Kile. Fans, Ginsana is the all-natural energizer. Find the energy. Feel your Ginsana. Mets not feeling their Ginsana tonight. They are hitless with only 2 base runners.
How does a Ginsana feel?
Well, we don't ask our sponsors. We just read them. We are like Imus in the morning. We just read them. No editorials, just read them. 1-0.
I'm sorry.
To Rich Becker, make that 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to Rich Becker. That is the damage there. Two walks, 6 strikeouts for Darryl Kile. Remember, he no-hit the Mets back on September 8th, 1993, and he has no-hit them through the first 16 batters tonight, or 16 outs, as Rich Becker walks.
He pitched both hitters entirely differently. The pinch hitter, Craig Paquette, went after with a lot of breaking balls, predominantly breaking balls, struck him out with a breaking ball, and just threw power fastballs at Rich Becker.
Missing with all 4. The guy who has hit the ball hardest tonight has been Luis Lopez, and he's the batter now.
So do you want to hold on Rich Becker here 4-0? The left-hand hitter up.
If he makes it, he's got to make it 100 out of 100 times. Mets trailing by 4.
I would, in this situation, look in the dugout and ask the manager, want me to play behind him? You know, always make the manager make the decision. Even though Rich has good speed, can steal a base.
Yeah, the only thing with Lopez now, he will bunt occasionally, but usually with the guy on at first base, he'll try to drag the ball down the third baseline. Hit this one hard to left field. Base hit Lopez. So Luis Lopez gets the crowd off of their seats and out of their somnolent state.
End of the no-hitter.
Yeah.
And he goes naturally that way, stays level, and Dante Bichette here, if we can get a better angle at it, he wanted to come in and make that catch, so much so he barehanded the ball. He knew all along that there was a no-hitter going here and made a nice barehanded stab there.
Yeah, he did. Edgardo Alfonso now. And the curveball is high, ball 1.
This is where it's always curious, Tim. It's a 4-0 game. Now you've got a chance, a home run makes it a brand new ball game. How do pitchers pitch when they're in trouble?
Darryl Kile also a victim, and I know a lot of people are saying, well, what do you mean a victim? He victimized himself going to a new ball club, big contract, trying to justify that contract. The natural thing is to try to too hard, try to impress too many people, not relax. You often see that happen.
It's a natural human emotion.
Yeah,
Then go to
right.
a ballpark like Denver, which is a hitter's park.
Hit hard, but it's short hop. Perez turns a double play. Michael, as one might assume, and Dennis Cook. So John Hudek comes in with the score 4-0 and faces his old teammate, Darryl Kile. They were teammates last year in Houston. Ball 1.
John's a hard thrower, got a hard breaking ball. His problem has been his command of his pitches. Been a little bit wild. suffered the loss last night in Houston.
He has walked 9 in 9 ball games. And that's alarming because usually when a reliever like Kile comes in, he's only working 1-2 innings at the most. 1-1 to Darryl Kile. Ball and 2 strikes.
He's got some hair in that ball.
Oh, yeah,
he throws hard. I'd
yeah.
like his arm.
Gardo Alfonso rounding into a double play. Hit the ball well, but nicely turned by Lansing, Perez, and Helton. Kyle down on strikes. First strikeout for Hudek. That'll bring up Mike Lansing, the second baseman, who's 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs on the night. Folks, May 23rd and 24th is Youth Baseball Weekend. Little leagues from all over the tri-state area will be at Shea as the Mets take on the Milwaukee Brewers. First time since 1965 you have a chance to see the Brewers back in the National League. If your team is interested, you can call 718-507-TIXX and ask for group sales. Little leagues from all over the tri-state area will be at Shea. Mets take on the Brewers. That number once again, 718-507-TIXX. Popped up by Lansing. 2 outs.
Center fielder Ellis Burks.
So Lansing is retired. Ellis Burks, the batter. Burks with a home run his first time up. He's flied to right and grounded to third. He's really had 3 good at-bats tonight. Hit the ball hard all 3 times.
Came into the game 0 for his last 12 at-bats, too. So a lot of times hitting a ball the opposite field with an opposite field home run will bring you right out of a slump.
He's hit the ball hard the opposite field twice tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. The reason for that, if the front shoulder was a problem, then that corrects the front shoulder. Keep that front shoulder in there.
When all hitters slump, they get out in front.
Yeah.
And when you take extra batting practice, you work to bring it back. Hit the ball more up at the plate.
Popped up right side. Tough play by Erga near the stands. Now it's Olerud to make the play. Nice play by John Olerud. But it's the Rockies 4, the Mets working on a one-hitter. He only hit a line drive to left field by Louis Lopez as John Olerud takes a curveball for a strike. 0-1 to John. 4-0 Rockies. Another curve. Hit foul, so John in the hole, 0-2.
Well, he's thrown him 2 straight curveballs. He's 0-2 now.
We check our Nobody Beats the Wiz scoreboard. The Padres trying to hang on to win their 19th game of the year. 19-7 they would be. Good hitting by Olerud. A third curve doesn't do the job. Olerud, who is nursing a pulled groin, goes into second base with a leadoff double. And our Toyota American League scoreboard. Royals over the Blue Jays. Tigers over the Rangers. And the Orioles struggling with the bats. Rare to see the Red Sox lose this early. They're 18-8 on the year. And the Yankees have now taken the lead against Seattle. They're in the 5th inning with the Yankees leading 4-3. Carlos Baerga 0 for 1 with a walk. Low, ball 1.
Well, here's John on second base, and we're going to show you his double here. He's 0-2 now with 2 breaking balls. Catcher setting up inside, and he hangs it over the outer half. And he goes with it nicely to the other field. That's nice hitting.
Third time was not a charm for Kile. Drill to right field over the head of Walker. Olerud had to stop at second base. He thought the ball was going to be caught. And with nobody out, you can't quibble with that because he is nursing that pulled groin.
And you're down 4 runs.
That's right.
You got to play safety first.
That's right.
I'm telling you, Carlos is swinging the bat good. He's turning on the ball now and driving it.
He smoked it. This is the best ball I've seen him hit all year.
Fastball up and up and over the middle, and that ball just shot over the right fielder's head. And Larry thought he had a shot to catch it, and the ball just went over his head completely. The rocket.
So the Mets with a real chance here. Runners on at second and third, nobody out, and Brian McRae, the batter. Curveball is high, ball one. 2 straight doubles, and the Mets couldn't score, but obviously that was because Olerud was nursing that groin. And a breaking ball in there. 1-1 to Brian McRae. Mark DeJean is up and throwing for the Rockies. Mike DeJean, I beg your pardon. So bullpen activity, we have not seen any for the Rockies tonight. And the fastball is in there, strike 2.
The guy with a breaking ball like this, I just hate to see hitters take a fastball. If you get a fastball, you got to wail on it. You got too good a breaking ball today.
Breaking ball, he almost went. But it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brian McRae, and home plate umpire Jerry Lane wants to see the ball. Matt Franco is out to pinch hit for Tim Spear. Matt hitless in his first 9 trips as a pinch hitter this year. Single last night in Houston in a losing effort. 2-2 to McRae. Grounded foul. Mel Rojas up and throwing for New York. Two and two to Brian McRae. Runners on at second and third, nobody out. The Mets trail by 4. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Low, ball 3, full count to McRae.
Put him a split finger there. That's one of the rare ones he's thrown the whole game. Looking to get an out, and as you see here, the pitch, you can see it's an off-speed pitch. The ball will sink. This is not his fastball. That is a split finger, which I kind of question that. It's his 3rd pitch. You got a 4-run lead. Go get the hitter.
Well, he goes to get McRae, and Brian swings at ball 4.
Catcher Tim Spear.
So McRae is down. That brings up Matt Franco.
The fastball that just gets a lot of run here. Just starts out in the outer half and runs out of the strike zone. Sometimes it's a hard pitch to lay off, depending on how you feel at the plate. If you're struggling at the plate, you swing at bad pitches.
And Brian did there. So Matt Franco, 1 for 10 as a pinch hitter, will be the batter.
It's like shades of Mike Scott. Mike Scott had the greatest running fastball I ever faced, and I thought it was because he cut it.
Curveball is down. Nothing. Or make that 1 ball and no strikes to Matt Franco.
It's funny. I talked to Alan Ashby when the Astros were here the other night. I said, Alan, where did you guys cut those balls?
What, his response?
He wouldn't tell me.
Yeah.
I said, Alan, we're retired. No, there's no one here.
Yeah,
he still wouldn't tell.
Nope. Curveball outside, 2-0. I used to call for Lou Burdett's spitter, and we played 18 holes of golf, and he denied it among the foursome. I said, Lou, I called it. He said, I never threw a spitter. I said, I called the spitter. He still denied it.
I played a golf tournament in Phoenix this winter with Lou there.
Oh, yeah?
He's a good guy.
2 balls, no strikes to Franco, and the 2-0 pitch is low. 2-1. Mets trail by 4. The phones are busy in the Rocky dugout, and it has been a rocky dugout as far as their pitching has been concerned this year. They are last in the National League in pitching with a team earned run average of 6.71. Almost 7 runs every 9 innings. 3-0 to Franco. He may be taking 2 pitches here. Strike 1.
I'd let him hit here. It's a fastball. Look for a fastball to wail on.
Put the Mets back in the ball game.
Absolutely.
All right. 3-1 to Matt Franco. 1 out, 2 on for the Mets. Bayergon at second, Olerud at third.
He wants to throw you a curveball fine.
Well, it's inside. It looked like a splitter there.
It was a splitter, and I don't believe it.
I don't either.
I just don't believe it.
Not leading by 4 runs. If you can't challenge a pinch hitter.
That is just... Keep the ball, run it away with your sinker. You got a good sinker the whole game, and you're going to throw your 3rd pitch, and a pitch you've thrown maybe 3 or 4 times the entire game.
And expect to get it over for a strike. He walks Franco, and that brings up the potential tying run in Ray Ordonez. And Frank Funk, we went for the head fake. Frank Funk put his top foot on the dugout, leading one to believe that he might go out there again. Line foul. Ordonez in the hole, 0-1. Reyes struck out twice on the night. John Olerud, the runner, down at third. Carlos Baerga at second. Matt Franco at first.
You know, Tim, here's a situation. If you're a middle infielder, you got a guy throwing hard, and Ordonez goes the other way. If I'm playing second base, I'm looking at the sign. He calls a fastball. I'm going to shade him more in the hole.
And not cheat for the double play. You're looking for 1 out, not 2. He's jammed. And Kile comes home. The throw back to first. Out at first base. Darryl Kile on a barehanded pickup gets Ray Ordonez. Brother. Look at this odd double play to end it. Man. We'll be back. Matt Franco stays in the game, and he'll play in left field. Talk about revamped. Behind the plate is Jim Tatum. Remember, Tim Spear was pinch hit for by Franco, and Luis Lopez will go to shortstop with Ordonez out of there. And the fastball is high to Larry Walker. An unusual double play, to say the least, ended that 7th inning.
Well, this is... It's just a jam city right here, and it's actually a great play by Kile.
Unbelievable.
And that's, you just get jammed there, up and in fast, out of the strike zone. And that's just the way things have been going for the Mets.
For the last 4 games, remember the Mets were 13-7 just 5 days ago. They had a rainout mixed in there. Darryl Kile has been in total control. The only damage potentially he's going to suffer was the last inning. 2 leadoff doubles, and the Mets failed to score. At second and third and nobody out. They had the bases loaded and 1 out, and still didn't cross home plate. It's 2-2 to Walker.
And those are the kind of things that, you know, when you're struggling and you just snowball.
Ground ball left side. So the Mets playing for Larry Walker to pull the ball on the ground. And I think with Walker's elbow hurting like that, I think you got to go away from that a little bit.
Play him more straight up anyway.
I think so. I mean, you got to respect that because he's not swinging for the home run like he did last year. So Walker with the leadoff single here in the 8th inning. And tonight's game is brought to you by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Owego is in the 8th inning. Tim McCarver, Keith Hernandez, and Dante Bichette with a double his last time up. He has struck out and popped the short. So Dante 1 for 3 with a run scored.
Dante was looking for a fastball there away, and Hey, Johns throws hard. Hey, here it is. Hit it. You got 8 guys out there to field too. You got a good strong fastball. Go with it.
$12,599 official attendance tonight. Does not appear that many are in the ballpark. They have had not a lot to cheer about this evening. There goes Walker, and this one fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bichette. Tell you, Keith, there are a few times when you are hitting the ball right on the button like Bichette, making hard outs when he makes them for the most part. Can't wait to get to the ballpark, right?
Yeah,
cannot wait for the game to begin.
Absolutely, and sometimes don't even take batting practice.
Right.
Don't want to waste them.
That's
when
right.
You're swinging great, you know, maybe go and take 1 round, get loose,
Yeah.
get out.
And he's caught off first. Walker, and the run down, and now Lopez drops the ball. Probably an error on Louis Lopez, and a rare one at that. And Walker back to first.
Larry here trying to sneak a steal. He did it earlier, 2 pitches prior. And it's clearly in a rundown here. I just think Louis looked before he caught the ball. And that's exactly what he did. Larry getting a little frisky there. It's a 4-run game. That's not a bad play. Get in scoring position, stay out of a grand slam, tying it up. That 5th run, a 5-run lead's all important. As opposed to 4, it takes away a bases loaded situation beating you.
With 1 swing of the bat, or at least tying you. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bichette. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. 4-0 Rockies. Another one fouled away.
Belt high slider got on the outside corner, and Donnie had a great swing on it. He's swinging level. He's got a fast bat. He's really hitting right up at the plate. He's just got his timing working. It's a slider away. It's belt high. I'm sure he wants to get it lower than that. That's just good swinging. Right on it. He fouled it straight back. He's red hot.
Pitch out. Nothing happening. 2-2 now to Bichette. Bichette has been Dante's Inferno for the first month of the season. Bart Giamatti would love that. Low. Nice play by Tatum. Got him. What a play by Jim Tatum. On the short hop, throws out Walker. 1 away.
You should do the color on this one. You're the catcher.
Man.
That's just a tough play here.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Ball in the dirt. Breaking ball in the dirt, backhanded. Nice scoop. Comes up throwing. Nice throw. There's the result.
That's a fine play by Jim Tatum. Backhand short hop, throws him out.
Well, he's Bobby's most versatile player. He can play the infield, he can play the outfield, and in spring training, I remember Bobby saying when he had to make a decision who to go north with, he was leaning towards Tatum, he says, because we didn't know he can catch. He can catch.
He has done a good job behind the plate. As a matter of fact, he has started 1 game, and he could very well have been the hero on Monday afternoon. He made the score 3-1. As you see, Alberto Castillo ready to go. No need for it, however, with Tatum doing the job he's doing. And Bichette continues to be a tough out. Still 3-2.
A good bat for Dante here. He stayed primarily away from him here. I was primarily throughout the entire at bat. He's been away. He's throwing so hard. Just bring some cheddar on his hands, see what happens.
If Hudek had that type of control, he could do that, but his control is wary. Got him with the slider.
And a good one.
Yep. First strikeout. Make that the 2nd strikeout for John Hudek. 2 outs here in the 8th inning. And that'll bring up Vinny Castilla, the 3rd baseman.
How do you like that stadium in Denver, the new stadium? You like it, Coors Field?
Yeah,
I have not been there yet.
Well, the fans make the field, I think, often, and those fans out there are just absolutely super. Enthusiastic. They have not, as has happened to some major league parks, they've not gone the corporate way, if you know what I mean. There's some major league parks that are new the first couple of years. Then they take on the corporate crowd, and everybody's polite.
Right.
They're polite in Denver, but they're enthusiastic as well. Ellis Burks moves from center field to left field. Dante Bichette out of the game. Curtis Goodwin enters the game and plays center. Let's take a look one more time at that throw by Jim Tatum. We think he was hit on the right shoulder by that swing of Dante Bichette.
Well, here it is here. Ball in the dirt.
No?
No, he wasn't.
No. Maybe a foul tip a little
foul
later.
Tip, probably.
Yeah.
Here it is right here. Directly, yep, right on
Yeah.
the, oh, ouch. Catcher's Bane. Here he is in between innings, coming into the dugout and going right to the trainer. Get some ice.
Pain Bane. Ground ball to shortstop by Butch Husky. Pinch hitting for John Hudek. So Husky is retired.
Right fielder Rich
There is one out here in the bottom of the eighth inning.
I've got the disclaimer.
Fire that baby away.
This
baby.
copyright telecast is authorized under television rights granted by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Sterling Doubleday Enterprises is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, that's a no-no, is likewise prohibited.
You were out taking early disclaiming today. Nothing at one to Rich Becker with one out and nobody on.
Don't ask me to read fast. I'll stutter.
Nice going. Nice going. Good job.
That's all, folks.
They did not contact you for the FedEx commercial before they got it. Of 10
Yeah,
years
I'd
ago.
have no shot.
No shot. 1-1 to Rich Becker.
I wouldn't even bother to go for an audition for that one.
2 balls and a strike. However, you did audition for the Seinfeld show, and you've got to tell us something about that May 14th episode. Come on.
Well, all I can say that's going to be hilarious, and that
Well, that's nothing.
the show runs an hour and 17 minutes. It runs over. And the other 45 are going to be filled with clips of old shows.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and it was a lot of hard work. It was great fun. I was in L.A. for 10 days. I only worked 3, but I worked like 17-hour day on Monday, a 12-hour day on Tuesday, and then the day we did the show in front of the audience and taped it live, we had a 12:30 call, and we didn't get through with the run-through until 2:45 in the morning.
Wow.
And
They had a tired
had,
audience.
Oh, well, they were tired. It was all NBC people.
Still 2-2 to Becker. And strike 3 call. That is strikeout number 8 for Darryl Kile. There are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Well, then after we did that, 2:45, they had, of course, champagne. It was Dom Perignon all over the place. So I didn't get to bed till 5 in the morning. And everybody made a speech, and Jerry and, Jason and
Jerry emotional about everything?
Julia. They were all a little shook. Yeah,
I would
they
imagine.
were. They all came out and they standing ovation. It was really kind of a touching.
I bet. Louis Lopez, diving stop by Helton, Kyle covering. Wow. Still 4-0. Rockies back after this from MCI. Second and third, nobody out. 2 consecutive doubles. Olerud did not know the ball was going over the head of right fielder Larry Walker on a ball hit by Baerga. And Mel Rojas, a new pitcher for New York. So Mel Rojas, who looks more like the Mel Rojas of 2 years ago than he did the Mel Rojas of last year, starts the 9th inning, and Butch Husky stays in the ball game to play right field. Rich Becker out of there. And Todd Helton, the first baseman, is the batter. Tap. Foul. Something you may think about. I mean, when a young player like Todd Helton, only 26 years old, takes the place of an idol, an icon, as Andres Galarraga was in Denver, Walt Weiss leaving, both going to the Atlanta Braves, as this one chopped toward first base. Got to be a mentally grueling thing to do. You were fortunate when you broke in St. Louis that you didn't replace an icon.
Joe Torre.
Well, yeah, but Joe, I mean, Joe was playing a lot of third then too.
But he was still playing first base. When they called me up, he had bruised his finger, and he was out for around a week.
Called up in '74.
Again, they released you, I guess.
Right.
To make room for me. And then the next year, it was like, you know, Hernandez, the heir apparent. I was 20 years old. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure you put on yourself.
You know, I was thinking, but Joe was still there at the time of the 75 season. Husky makes the play. There are 2 outs. I'd forgotten that. I thought Joe was with the Mets. I guess he was traded to the Mets
the next year.
The next year, after the 75 season.
To make room for me, and I flopped. Had a bad April. Red, Shane Dees, the manager. I mean, I was hitting .232 with around 28 at bats, and Red just benched me. I mean, it wasn't much of a shot, Red.
Yeah, no. Kurt Manwaring is 0 for 2. He has walked and scored a run. The Rockies lead 4-0, and the first pitch from Rojas is high, ball 1. I guess you can understand what Todd Helton's going through, because, I mean, Galarraga was just revered, and Denver still is, as a matter of fact, even though he plays for Atlanta.
That also goes to show, I guess, how highly the Colorado Rocky organization is on Helton. To make a move like that.
And money, too.
Oh, sure.
Obviously. 2 balls and a strike to Manwaring.
They still got a solid, what, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters in the lineup. Burks, Walker, Bichette, and Castillo. That's a great middle.
And Mike Lansing, too.
Absolutely.
Leading off. Matter of fact, the Rockies entered the game with a team average of over 300 to lead the National League. Team average of 304, and they lead in this one 4-0. We're in the 9th. Mets have some doing to do. They've been a good 9th inning, 8th and 9th inning ball club for the last couple of years. But they're going against a guy who has totally dominated tonight, Darryl Kile. And the splitter gets Manwaring.
They break me in here with my first billboard.
High on the first fastball. Now it's 2-0. Edgardo Alfonso. Well, those pictures of the skylines tonight have been just beautiful. Had the Empire State Building earlier, and then the World Trade Center. It's 2 balls and a strike to Edgardo Alfonso. 6 career shutouts for Darryl Kile. 4 of those last year when he was 19-7 with Houston. 2-2 now to Alfonso. The Mets with only 3 hits. And the only real scoring opportunity, for the most part, was the 7th inning. This one tapped foul. Still 2-2 to Edgardo.
Well, he's had good stuff from the beginning. And great curveball, great sinking fastball. A couple times got himself in trouble. Got out with a double play in the 6th. The double play in the 7th.
Now Alfonso is jammed, lifts it to Perez. It's short. 1 out. We are back at you tomorrow night. Same 2 teams, Colorado and the Mets. It will be Jamie Wright versus Masato Yoshi tomorrow night. And you can make your plans right now. 7:30 we're on the air. More sushi in the press room tomorrow night.
Really?
You're a sushi fan, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Love it. You got to love that.
I have a great neighborhood sushi place that I go to, and they know me there.
As do I.
Yes.
So sushi in the press room, sushi at home or at the ballpark if you prefer to bring your own tomorrow night, as it's not sold here at Shea. I think the only major league park, to my knowledge, where sushi is sold is San Diego. Huh?
I think it's sold in Anaheim, too.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
I think they were the first ones to do it.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Is that right?
That's so Orange County.
3-0 to John Olerud. One out, nobody on. The Mets have some doing to do, and it perhaps could start with a walk to Olerud. That'll bring up Carlos Baerga, the second baseman.
Second baseman Carlos Baerga.
Folks, closed captioning of Mets base. Carlos Baerga doubled his last time up. Olerud was on at second base at the time. And he hits this one hard to right field. Keith Hernandez talking to Baerga before the game. You have proven quite prescient tonight, my friend.
Well, he said he felt better the other night, and I watched him on TV, and he's just rotating his hips now, and this is a good sign. The fastball in, him turning on that. Drove the ball, short hopped the wall down on the right field line. Now a bullet in the right field. These are things he hasn't been doing. He's been getting jammed. They want the fastball away. It comes inner half, and he's turning on it. Look at his front foot pointing now towards the shortstop. Instead of pointing towards the third base line, he can get his hips into the pitch. And the body works together.
That's a very good point, because it's impossible to open your hips if your foot is pointed toward third. It's got to point toward the middle of the field. It's
Yes.
got to. Brian McRae takes fastball high. You wonder how long Don Baylor will go with Darryl Kile. 1 ball and no strikes. Brian looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 3. Center field and deep. Back is Goodwin to make the play. So McRae sends Goodwin to the track. There are now 2 outs, and that'll bring up Matt Franco.
Tell you what, Goodwin's was playing a shallow center field, and in a situation like this, when you're down, when you're up 4 runs, well, you don't want a ball hit over your head. I know he's got great speed, but he runs a long way for this ball and gets it right by the track. You certainly don't want a ball hit over your head.
So Matt Franco, with 2 on, 2 outs here in the 9th inning, grounds to second. Easy play from Mike Lansing, and the Mets are shut out. That is the first complete game shutout for Darryl Kile as a member of the Rockies, as he wins it 4-0, and the losing pitcher Bobby Jones. Keith and I will be right back after this from Chevrolet.